Hey everyone, Mitch here with Fit for Moto. Thanks so much for checking out another one of my videos. And in today's video, we're talking about foot pegs, but in particular, the Warp 9 foot pegs. Now, after about 40 hours-ish on my 2021 Honda 450, these stock foot pegs have completely had it. These things are like skating rinks. And here's the thing, is there anything more scary than when you're cruising along, you're doing your thing, you got your flow and your feet they just fly off the foot pegs? No. That sucks. So I picked up a pair of the Warp 9 foot pegs. We're gonna give these things a run. I'm gonna give you an honest review, tell you what I think. Let's do it. So when it comes to foot pegs, there are a couple things that I like to keep in mind that are important to me, and these may or may not be important to you, but I think they matter. And we're gonna go over a couple of those now. So first and foremost, personally, when it comes to foot pegs, I like floorboards. Like I want it to feel like I've got this giant piece of metal that I'm standing on. I don't want it to feel like I'm teetering on this like little lever position. Hate that. So for me, the size of the foot peg really does matter. And first of all, right off the bat, if I'm comparing these to the Honda foot pegs, they are quite a bit wider and they are just a little touch longer as well. So right out of the box, that's one of the first things that I noticed is that they're wider and they're a little bit longer. Now on top of wanting a floorboard, another thing that's really, really important to me is that these things are super duper sharp. I mean, that's kind of the whole reason that I got away from these stock Honda foot pegs is because they're dull, right? So a huge thing for me is that they're super sharp. Now with the Warp 9 foot pegs, and a lot of the aftermarket foot pegs have these, you'll be able to tell that they have these little removable teeth on them. They're just these little screws that screw in. You can put some Loctite on them, and they'll just screw out when they get dull. And they've got a little hex head in here that you can just pop these little things out, pop some fresh ones in so that your foot pegs stay nice and sharp. Now next up, when it comes to foot pegs, something you want to consider maybe is weight, and it may or may not matter to you. However, we're going to weigh these things anyway. So with the stock Honda foot pegs, get this thing set up here, they weigh 184 grams. Now, that being said, that's after I've like filed the teeth off of them with my boots. So 184 grams, probably minus a couple because I'm missing some metal on there. But still, nonetheless, that's actually not that heavy. Some of the fastway foot pegs I had, if I remember correctly, they were up around like 290 or something like that. Like, it was a heavy foot peg. So if weight is an issue to you, that's something you want to keep in mind with that type of foot peg. These ones do feel really light. Now, if I had to guess, I'm gonna say lighter than the stock Honda foot pegs for sure. They're obviously made of a different material. These ones are steel. These feel like they're aluminum, a lighter weight metal, but I'm gonna guess that they are lighter. Yeah, 141 grams. So there is a weight difference between the two. The Warp 9 foot pegs are wider, they're longer, they weigh less. They definitely are gonna have sharper teeth, and even when these dull out, you can kind of just spin them off and give them a quick replacement. So that's all a bit of a bonus as far as I'm concerned. Now, obviously, another thing when it comes to foot pegs that you need to keep in mind, depending on your budget, how much do these things cost, right? Because you can get titanium foot pegs that are like razor sharp for like $300-400 bucks. That's a lot of money to spend on a pair of foot pegs, especially when, you know, your feet will go on these things. So it can be somewhat of a tough pill to swallow. With the Warp 9 foot pegs, these come in right around $100 to $120, depending on where you find them for sale, which is really reasonable when it comes to foot pegs. For some of the higher level riders, I mean, could you bend these things? Probably, which is why some of them get those super high-end titanium foot pegs, because somehow they tend to bend them. I've never bent a foot peg in my life. No matter how big of a jump I've come up short on or went long or whatever, I've never bent a foot peg. So I don't know how people do that. That is crazy. So for the average dude, certainly for beginner riders, you're not gonna have to worry about bending these things. So far, all pluses in the bank, but the real test is gonna come when we get out to the track, see how these things feel. Let's go. Okay, so here's a sitch. I know we left the garage and I said, yeah, okay, I'm gonna come out to the track, we're gonna try these things, and indeed I have. Bike's pretty dirty. But here's also the other thing. I had the camera all ready to go and I was going to, you know, film what I thought of the pegs. And then I realized that I forgot these. Memory cards. Tough to film when you don't have memory cards. So I'm doing this all on the GoPro. So I apologize if the audio is not as good, if the picture is not as good, but hey, you got to adapt, improvise, and overcome, which is what we're going to do. Now, let's get back to the matter at hand, which is these Warp 9 foot pegs. So I've done a few laps on them now, and I can give you an opinion on what I think of them. Overall, honestly, I think they're pretty good. They're lightweight, the price is right, they feel sharp, they're kind of checking all the boxes. Now, do I think that you should go out and get some? Probably, yeah. I mean, they're pretty good peg, honestly, overall. That doesn't mean they're perfect, though. Like I mentioned, those teeth, these teeth here, they will get dull, and they're gonna be tough to pull out of there once those get all dull and all kind of bent out of shape. So just keep that in mind. They're not gonna stay sharp forever. You're going to have to replace the teeth on them. You're going to have to buy extra teeth, which can get to be, you know, a little more money than maybe you thought you were gonna spend. So just keep that in mind. However, they do feel like a bigger peg than a stock foot pegs as well, which I absolutely love. So overall, yes, Warp 9, you make a good foot peg. I'm pretty impressed with them. Time will tell after I put 10, 20, 30 hours on them. We'll see what they look like after that long of time. But so far, I'm gonna give them a thumbs up. I don't really have any complaints. So far, they're awesome. So I'm gonna go out there and do more riding. I hope you liked the video. Hit subscribe for me. You know I appreciate it. Hope you liked the review. If there's something else you want me to review, leave a comment below. Let me know what it is. I'll do my very best to get the part, the product, whatever it is, put a video up for you and tell you what I think of it. So I hope you liked it. Stay tuned. We'll see you guys in the next video.